Hi, good morning, everybody. Here we are this month, and we're going to be speaking with Brianna. And to be honest, Brianna, here's what I want to know. Let's just get to know you a little bit, and then we'll kind of move into your real estate journey, and let's take the conversation as it goes.
So, hello, good morning. My name is Brianna Guerra. I am a mother of three. Even though I look very young and beautiful, I do have surprisingly a 17-year-old. I have a 9-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I love every bit of it. Let's see, I sing. And I'm working on my vocals. I'm a leader in my church. Let's see what else. I am introvert. I didn't find that out until I did the DISC test, that I am very much introvert. And so I'm surprised that right now I'm not shaking at all. So I feel like as I've practiced putting myself a little bit more in front of the camera, I've learned to dominate it more. And just practicing being more outgoing, because when you're in leadership and you're in real estate, you definitely have to talk to a lot of people. So that's something that I've been working on for these past few years. And I think that's...
Okay, so let's talk about your real estate journey a little bit. When did you get into real estate and why?
So I got into real estate in 2019, and I don't know about other agents, but it took me 4 times to pass the test. I cried like you have no idea. But why did I get into real estate? Because of my experience. So back in 2016, I purchased my first home, and my budget was $50,000.
Okay.
And it was reasonable back then, right? And so, but because it was only $50,000, the agent that I was working with, she didn't really give us a lot of attention, and she didn't really give us that guidance that we needed. And then, so I purchased my first home, cash, and with the help of some family and friends, and we were able to pay them back. So then, like maybe a year or 2 later, my brother, wants to buy a house, but I'm not a real estate agent, but he wants big sister to help him out,
Got
right?
it. Yep.
To help him out, and because I've already done it, he wants me to help him. So I'm like, I should do this. I think I can do this. I think I can open some doors and show some houses. This looks fun. Let's do this. I didn't really look into it. I just threw myself. I'm like, real estate school, let's go. I did it twice. I barely passed the first time. It's just so much information. And, mind you, I had been out of school for so long. So sitting, in a classroom for 8 hours, learning a lot of information at a fast pace, it was a lot, but I didn't give up. I absolutely love it. But it was actually my brother helping him, and then my personal experience with the agent that I had that encouraged me to be able to help others. And so that's a little bit of my backstory of why I decided to go into real estate.
So a lot of it really was about wanting to help people.
Yes.
And it started off with your brother.
Correct.
Yeah. I do want to go back a little bit and talk about the experience. How has that shaped your journey into real estate and becoming the realtor you are now?
I feel that it was everything, because like I said, the agent that helped us, she didn't even go to my closing.
Really?
I'm not gonna say her little secrets, but she didn't go to my closing. And so whenever we purchased this home, it was a foreclosure. So we had a special warranty deed, right? So there's different types of warranty, and the attorney really didn't explain this, and I didn't learn until I got into real estate school. So learning all these, going through all these hurdles, it definitely, I have a background of customer service, so I definitely strive to give my clients the best customer service that I can, and that they're knowledgeable of what it is that they're purchasing, the condition of the home, anything that I can figure out as far as what they're purchasing, and just guiding them every step of the way, letting them know, look, this is where we're at, this is where we're heading to, and you know, I'm your eyes to the things that you probably don't know.
It's funny, I've experienced that over the years. I've heard that from a lot of agents who, there's something that shapes who they are, either as a person, as a leader, in this case as a business owner or a realtor, based on their prior experience they had that typically wasn't great. Yeah, so I'm sorry you had that experience. Quick question, do you still own that house?
No.
Okay, so you're able to sell it for a profit?
Yes, I was.
Okay, very good. Very good. That's, I was just out of curiosity, wanted to know that. All right, awesome. So you've sold that property, moved on from it, you did make some profit off of it. So let's talk about now, you're actually in the job day to day. What's that experience been like for you?
It's been a roller coaster. It's been happiness, joys, tears, deception,
Fear,
but
anger, excitement.
Yes, all the feelings.
And that was
all
just
the
yesterday.
feelings. All the feelings, but I love it,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm here for it.
Got it. So now, how do you feel, like, when you first got started into real estate, did you have an idea, like, in terms of what you wanted this to look like for you? Did you have, like, an idea of goals that you wanted to set? Or was it just, I'm here, I'm ready to go, and I'm gonna go find people that need my help?
No, I really just went in blindsided. I didn't know everything that I was gonna have to do. I'm thinking like, you know, everyone just, I didn't know what I was thinking, but I do love that, you know, being with Keller Williams, I've grown a lot in goal setting because I felt like I was very disorganized.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely setting goals, working my sphere, getting to know other people, and slowly but surely just putting myself out there with the clients that I've helped in the past. Now a lot of my business, you know, 5 years later, is referral business.
Love it, love it. So the referral business typically is only going to come if we provided that great experience for people.
Correct.
I think too often agents think, well, you know, I've got a big sphere, I've got, you know, a lot of people that I've helped with transactions. And I think immediately they kind of just move to, it's like an automatic, you're gonna get business from them.
No.
So what were some of the things you learned that you had to do in order, besides providing the experience, to get that referral business from that group of people that you'd helped in the past?
Communication.
What does that look like?
Communicating with them, but not only communicating about the home purchase, but actually getting to know them, because they are humans.
Yep.
So it's also just having that personal touch and building that relationship with them.
Okay. How often do you communicate with the people you know?
Very often.
I love that, but give me a specific if you can.
I try to touch base, like birthdays, on my social media for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Giving them a call maybe once a month.
Okay.
Maybe a text message. You know, kids' birthdays, you know, maybe something that I saw that it's a big deal for them, got a new job, promotion or something, and
Yep.
just definitely just still keeping that relationship with them.
So I love that you're doing that. One of the things that I think agents sometimes struggle with is this whole thing of frequent communication, because they feel like I don't want to bother the people I know. What I loved about what you just shared is that part of your communication plan, it's about frequency, but it's about the things that matter to them,
Right.
right? You didn't say, you know, I'm calling them, wishing them happy birthday, by the way, you have a referral for me.
Mm-hmm.
Are you intentional around asking for referrals at all?
At times I am.
What does that one look like for you?
I'm just straightforward. Do you know someone
I love it.
that needs to buy a house? I feel like it's just because we've built that relationship of trust, and you know, just like, hey, you know, I'm still doing real estate, or sometimes they bring up the real estate conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So then I take advantage of that, and I'm like, do you know anyone that's ready to buy or sell a home?
Right. Well, okay, so when you're talking about people bring up the conversation about real estate, do you feel it's because they know you're in real estate, therefore they want to talk to you about it?
Correct.
Or are they finding out you're in real estate and then want to talk about it?
It can go both ways. It
Okay.
depends. Sometimes it's phone calls from other people. Like I said, I'm always meeting new people and I'm always getting contacts. So they're like, oh, I saw you on Facebook, you know, I saw that you're, you know, tell me about that. What do I need to do to purchase a house, or I would like to sell a home?
Love it.
So it just naturally just comes out. the
Love it. All right, so I'm gonna actually backtrack to the very beginning of our conversation. You mentioned you are a singer.
question. Oh my goodness, yes.
I'm not gonna ask you to sing unless you want to, then we would love that. Is it something you do in your church, or are you like, are you recorded?
Yes, I've actually been a worship leader in my church for 10 years.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
That's awesome. So how does that maybe connect? Because you mentioned earlier that you're taking voice lessons.
Mhm.
Why is it that you want to take voice lessons? If you've been a spiritual leader in your church for that long and now you want to take voice lessons, why is that?
Because I have to improve and I want to be better and get better at it.
What's that going to do for you if you get better?
I'm gonna be able to give God my voice and developing it more, you know, and just being able to say that I gave him the best of me.
So if we
because I
brought,
prepared.
I love that, and if we brought some of that back then into real estate, what do you do in real estate to get better every day?
Continuing education.
So it's funny, something else you said earlier, when you started to take your pre-license, it had been a long time since you've been in school and in that kind of mindset of learning. Have you discovered that being in real estate, it's about constant learning?
Constant.
Because things are always changing, right?
Correct. I was actually a hairdresser before that for 10 years, and part of the prerequisites to renew your license
She
is
did not do mine,
continuing
by the way.
education. Is continuing education. So it's always continuing, you know, educating yourself. Even though with the hair, it's more like practical versus, you know, head knowledge. But yes, it's that continuing education.
Love it.
Yesterday we did the Winning with Sellers class, and
Yep.
I absolutely loved it.
What was your one takeaway from that class?
It's the relationships, communication.
Isn't it funny? Everything tends to come back to that. We try to overcomplicate this whole thing about lead generation in real estate and blah, 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 blah. Are we in a relational industry?
Very.
And if we leverage the relationships, not for the purposes of business, but just to strengthen them and have stronger relationships. Something else you mentioned earlier, you look for the things that's showing up in people's lives, right? You wish them a happy birthday or a promotion or whatever it is. Typically what we find is that so much, even in a market that's a little bit slower, or we're selling fewer homes or whatever, people's life changes still show up. And it's the life changes that show up that tend to cause people to still have real estate needs.
Correct.
That they can't wait for the best rates, the most inventory, the better pricing, a sunnier day, whatever it is. They have to do what they have to do at that moment in time to meet their needs.
Yes.
That's why we still, even in a slower market, we're still gonna sell 4 million homes in the US, right?
Yes.
So I think, you know, to me, you've learned some amazing keys in life that have now converted over very nicely for you into real estate.
Yes.
If there's one thing you wanted to leave everybody that's watching this video with, what would it be?
I would say that anything is possible, and goal setting. You definitely have to have your goals.
Gotta know where you're going, right? That's, to me,
Exactly.
that's what a goal is.
Right.
This is where I wanna go.
Yeah.
Otherwise, any path we take to get there will work.
Right.
But we don't know where we're really going, so that's why it's gonna work, right?
Mhm.
So I love that helps make you a little bit more focused.
Yes.
How you doing this year on your goals so far?
We're doing good. It's been a little slower,
Mhm.
but with consistency, right? I'm
Mhm.
just staying consistent, and we got things in the works.
Brianna, thank you so much for spending time with us today. We appreciate it. Anything else you wanna say?
No, thank you so much.
All right, appreciate you. Bye.